All right, welcome back everybody to episode 5 of Conqueror Chronicles. We are back once more. Me and Phoenix are hosting it this week once again. And this week we have three very exciting guests with us. We have Clarkles, we have Benny, and we have Rhino. And to start off this episode, besides diving into the AD2L content that everybody wants to hear, we just want to know before we get there what got you guys into Dota in the first place. And so, Clarkles, we're gonna go ahead and start with you. What got you into Dota?
I played League of Legends and I grew to absolutely fucking hate that game after playing it for so long. And
Good answer.
one of my buddies, I know you guys know him, Radicus, he's an AD2L. Uh, was the only one of my friends that played Dota. He's like, hey, you should try this game out. And then he knows I'm a really competitive person. He mentioned this league, and so just kind of got me motivated to grind out Dota and get to play AD2L. That's the only reason why I played Dota is playing AD2L.
Okay. Benny, what about you?
So I started 2014, like right after TI4 had just ended. I was a junior in high school, and my buddy, incidentally, the one who casts all of our games, he was basically like we were all like friends in school and stuff with a bunch of other people. And one day he was like, "Hey, have you guys heard of this game?" And I had like a shit tier Dell PC back then. So when we first started playing, I would get shoved to the off lane to play like blinked initiators because I would just blink in and like click alt and then like my PC would lag out. So that was like my experience getting into Dota was just my friend from high school.
Okay. And then Rhino, what about you?
When I was like 10 or 9 or some shit. I played TFT for mad long, or TF2 for like 400 hours. And then there's this other game on Steam called Dota 2. I just happened to install it. And I like for a while I just like fed down lanes and played Nature's Prophet and like would abandon shit after like 5 minutes. Like I thought it was like one of those like casual games. And then probably around like TI2, TI3, I started taking the game a little more serious and like actually play. But yeah, just like random shit. It was just the game they're advertising after Team Fortress.
All right. Phoenix, what about you?
All right, I'll give you some deep Phoenix lore here, really quick. Um, so when I was younger, I lived with my grandparents. They were both deaf, so they basically just let me do whatever the fuck I want. So my my uncle is only about, I think he's about 4 or 5 years older than me, and he had a really shitty PC. And I was bored as fuck, so I would just watch him play games. So I was like 6 or 7 just watching him play games. And his favorite game at the time was Warcraft 3. So he got me into Warcraft 3 and he showed me custom modes. So I was like 6 or 7 playing Dota 1. And I was kind of the same thing as Rhino. I was so young, I didn't even realize what the fuck was going on. Like I didn't know these were games. You know what I mean? Like I was griefing Dota 1 games as like a 7-year-old, unironically. I'm not even joking. I would pick people based on how they looked. So like I thought Dirge looked really cool because he was like the Warcraft 3 zombie model, right? And like I would pick like Nikes because like he was like just a big ghoul. You know what I mean? Like I was just picking all these like this like fucking dumb shit, and I was totally just griefing people's games. But yeah, I started playing a long time ago, probably like 19, 20 years ago now, and then I kind of jumped around a bit, played Counter Strike Source for a while as well, and then CS:GO as well. And then I moved into Dota 2. My uncle, that same uncle, actually ended up giving me a beta key for Dota 2 in 2012. So I've been playing since 2012. Took a little bit of a break. I think everyone kind of goes through phases where they play a lot and they stop playing. But yeah, I've been playing a Dota for a very long time, very very long time since I've been quite young. So
I'm curious to ask, how old are you, Phoenix?
so I'm 26.
Huh.
What?
Wow,
See,
you're old.
that's weird because that because that's how old I am. But the way you're talking
Same.
about this like timeline, it sounds like you're way older than I am.
Yeah, I was about to say
Yeah,
this.
it's because I think it surprises people how young I was playing video games. That's why. Like I was very young, like probably unhealthily young playing video games. Like it was like a little. It was probably weird.
Well,
Um,
I've been playing games since I was young, but I've only been playing PC games since I don't know. Well, actually, that's not entirely true because when I was like 6 or so, my brother would play Command and Conquer Red Alert 2, which is not really like it's an RTS game. But the thing is, my mom didn't like me playing violent video games, so she wouldn't let me play like Halo or Call of Duty. And like looking back, like that game wasn't violent because it was literally like little pixel soldiers getting like mowed down, and there was like a little bit of red for the blood. But she would like freak out whenever she saw me play it. But I think that game kind of like was sort of a foundation for my love for strategy games when I was that young.
it was like the
Um,
gateway drug, if you will.
Kinda, yeah, because like after that, I don't think I played any RTSs. I mostly stuck to playing like, Pokemon or whatever the fuck, until I got like a computer that could run some games, mostly shitty games, but like that's when I started getting into like Binding of Isaac and stuff like that, which I think is more of a pipeline for games like Dota, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that makes sense as well. Yeah, and then don't want to miss out on Yoshi. So Yoshi, how did you get into Dota?
I started playing PC games on my own in like 2011. I was a Minecraft kid. Um, and then I eventually found out about Steam. And I was kind of the Rhino route. I was playing TF2 for a little bit and just kind of bouncing around to any like free games on Steam, and eventually landed on Dota. And interesting enough, I played a bunch of Meepo when I first started playing Dota. I don't think I was actually any good at it. Um, and then I just kept playing it more and more. But I was actually a trackpad player on Dota for the longest time,
Good lord.
which
Ain't no
which I don't
way.
know how. Well, actually, I do. I remember vividly on a vacation trip my family took. I was playing Razor on the trackpad because I knew that I didn't have to like click as many buttons. So yeah,
That's
and then
awesome.
I eventually switched to like actual mouse and keyboard, and I was like, wow, this is actually like how you're supposed to play the game. That's
Wow,
crazy.
this is actually playable.
I
Wow.
know, like this is actually I can play other heroes now. This is crazy. So,
That's
but
actually
I think
crazy.
my first match on Dota was like August of 2014. I think it might have been a little earlier than that, but I know it was the summer of 2014. So, been
You know what that
playing.
makes me think of? That makes me think of my one buddy that lives in Saskatchewan, so like rural Canada, and his internet was so bad that he could only play insane bots or like bot matches. So for literally, I'm not even joking, for like 3 years, he only played insane bots. And he just grinded bot matches, and then he eventually got better internet, and then got immortal. Like
Does he?
actually, it was like
Oh, I
legit.
was gonna say,
Yeah,
does he
he's
still
actually
place it?
good.
What's his rank? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, he's actually good. Like he's like unironically, he's actually good. So
That's
it's
crazy.
it's 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 like a nice success story. So speaking of success stories, I really quickly wanted to touch on it. We can probably skip you, Benny, because I think Savage has played together for a while now, so we could probably skip that. But for everyone else, though, I'm a little curious on how you guys just formed your team. You don't have to go too in detail if you don't want to, but Rhino, I think you spoke a little bit on this, but do you mind elaborating a little bit on how OTF came together? Because I know last season I think you mentioned that you had tried to tap Blunted pretty early. That sounded really bad. I meant like you tried to get him
Yo.
Jesus
to join your
Christ.
team. Sorry, that was really bad. I meant like you tried to get him to join as like one of the first pieces. I think. Do you want to
We know
elaborate
what
that?
you
We know
meant.
you, man.
Sure. Yeah. I think Blunted I've always wanted to play with. So I played with Blunted when I was on IPA stack, and we lost the helmets on. We sort of had a season like we're having now, where we were like really slow starters, and then we got to the final week and we had to play like a real ass team, and they shit on us.
Hmm.
So I'm hoping it doesn't happen this season. But yeah, it just felt bad to go out like that. Actually, that's not that season. Actually, that was NoHo season. I'm talking about IPA season where Helmets On beat us again in the lower bracket. Helmets On beat me a lot actually. So they beat me in the lower bracket. And it just felt bad to lose, but I really like playing with Blunted. I think our play styles align, and yeah, I think like I also think he's a prodigy, so I always like hype him up. And then he said he has like a couple brothers that play. I was like, okay, only the family. That sounds pretty cool. So we got his older brother Greshman on the team, and then he had a couple guys that he just plays in houses with that he had some chemistry with. I was just pretty heavy on chemistry this season. Probably why I haven't kicked anyone yet. To be honest, everyone's
I,
just
I like the
Dude,
honesty at least.
Yeah,
I'm
if I
so
say this is
serious.
at least
No, I'm
he's
so
fucking
serious,
honest. I mean,
guys. I'm so serious. I'm so serious. I'm like we started 0-4. We lost to Savage. Someone was almost gonna leave that night.
Someone
Oh my
was
God,
almost
oh my-
gone.
Someone was leaving that night. I was so serious. After we won't go too
Oh my
deep into it.
God.
We won't go too deep into it. But that
uh,
was
the real
that was
question
dark
though,
times.
if you were
But
gonna kick someone, who would you have kicked?
oh no! I would not.
Oh,
that,
no,
that,
fair.
that,
That's
that, that is a
I-
smart pass.
oh,
That is a smart pass.
That's for
Come on,
another episode.
just incriminate yourself, man. One time.
I cannot do that one, but I will say that's how it came about. Yeah, so just high chemistry stack.
That's cool. That's cool. And I know that I just wanted to ask this really, really quickly too. You guys did do a roll swap, nice. A roll swatch. Holy fuck! A roll swap. A roll swap.
I
Jesus
think that
fuck.
beer you shotgunned is
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
hitting.
shit, dude.
Yeah. Holy fuck. Yeah. But do you think that that's been helping? I mean, I imagine so, because you guys have obviously you 2-0'd Crownfall. And I think you tied the skeletons after the swap there.
The swap.
Yeah. So do you think it helps? Like, what was going wrong before that?
Something had to change. I think that and I stopped drafting as well, so that helped as
Oh,
well.
okay.
So yeah, I sort of have to I gave captain responsibilities to Greshman, better player, better understanding of the game right now. And he's not a one. He was never a one. So like we were struggling with that fact. And Cafe wanted to one. It just felt natural and something had to change, right? Either if someone's not getting kicked, someone has to change. And yeah, that's what changed. And I think we're very strong right now. I think it looks good. So
Yeah, I'm gonna be
Yeah, it's
real.
like
I think you guys were 2-0 Crownfall before the swap, for being real.
yeah. Well, that's probably
oh,
true as
I would
well.
To
agree
be
with that.
fair, someone
But
might have said that about Triple S too.
well,
I
I
don't.
mean,
True.
guys,
Someone did say that.
all
I
I'm gonna
mean,
say is
I
that
don't know. I don't know a ton about either team, but I do know that Triple S was looking like a contender for closer to the bottom. I know they're not like the worst team in the league or anything, but
Cheddar's one of my boys, won the mini with them, but that team is just they should not be in conk, I don't think.
that's fair.
on the calc
Yeah.
they're pretty low, I think. But
No, yeah.
I think the Spike
yeah,
team can take some games off high quality teams and like BO1s. I think they have like a BO1 type of play style, but they won't actually win a
Mm.
BO3. I don't know if they'll make playoffs or tiebreakers, but Spike
I
sort
think.
of go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I think they've played together for a little bit of time too. Like at least I remember last episode Spike was saying that I think he's played with like his mid for years, I want to say, or a pretty long time. So I think that might be a benefit for them as well, even if they are lower on the calc. Like sometimes if you got that synergy, it'll be more beneficial. Ranks be damned, I guess, right? So
Now that Han is out of conk, I think Spike has like the most games of anyone or something like that. He's got like
A lot.
13K games or something on his account. I think I don't remember.
he's got more than 13K, I think.
I think
He's
it's like over 20. I think it's
Yeah,
like
it's
outrageously
I
high.
I believe it's closer to like 25 or 26. Yeah, he's got a
Jeez,
lot of
yeah.
games. Yeah, he has got a lot of games. But anyway, we'll definitely touch a little bit more on like how kind of the teams are doing moving forward here. But Clarkles for Creator, how did that team come together? I know you're not the captain, but
Mhm. Well, it started with before the season started. I was asked to try to play on a heroic team. I was just good friends with some of the people that play up there, and I went from the start of last season. I played in Warrior, and I was like Legend 3 or some shit. I went all the way up to Divine 1 by the end of the season. So, and I was playing a lot of Dota, able to grind. So they're like, oh, you'll grind it out, you'll learn, you'll be able to kind of keep up. So I was on that team and a couple others, and we needed a mid laner, and Chev tried out for it. And we kept screaming and screaming, and then they announced the changes to the heroic calculator, and they're like, yeah, you guys suck, get out of here. And they kicked us off. So Chev was like, hey, why don't we just make a team and play somewhere? And I was kind of iffy at first. I didn't know if I want to try playing champ or what we were gonna do. So I told him I think about it, and he said, just let me know. And finally, I was like, all right, screw it. So I told him let's do it. And then, when not even like a day later, he had a whole roster. He had Lorenzo and Spyroar like immediately, and then we went back and forth between if Chev wanted to play Pause 4. Love Chev to death, but thank God he didn't play Pause 4. He's a way better mid laner. So those games did not go very well. But and then we tried out Shep, which I think Shep is also newer to AD2L. Which, if anyone needs a stand-in for mid laner, Shep is crazy. Really good, super heated, really good this week for standing in for us for Chev. So shout out Shep. But we ended up going with Chev in the mid lane, and then we stole Orion from the R&B Warrior stack.
There you go. All right. That's exciting. I gotta say, there's been a lot of Chev 4 slander. I'm just gonna say I got 100% win rate with that guy on 4. So I don't know. I think you guys just start playing around as 4 good enough, dude. That's all I'm gonna say. Cause
Chev
it
actually,
cooks with me, dude.
like a year or year and a half ago, Chev and I were gonna do a team with him on 4 and Bonky on 3 back in the back in the good old days. Um, but we played like a couple pubs, and he was kind of cracked.
Like, honestly, he's not bad at all. We would have like adjusted and got to it, but the 2 games we played, the scrims, I mean, they just did not. They were not the move.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I mean, obviously, if it didn't go good in the scrims, I mean,
Yeah, like
it makes sense to pivot to something else, right? So
our lanes was just super rough. He swears up and down he agreed for one of my lanes, so I'm not going to confirm or deny this. But they just didn't go very well. So then he also thought
that's
he was
fair.
washed. He also thought he was washed at mid lane, which we all probably know here. He's not bad at mid lane. So
No, I don't think he's washed at mid. I still think he's probably one of the
he's
top mids
he's,
probably in the league
he's
for
top 3.
sure. So yeah, for sure. I mean, well,
No
I don't
bias.
know.
Definitely not biased.
I don't know if I'd go top. Well, it depends. This league, maybe actually. I don't know. Anyway, let's get more into the meat and potatoes here, which was what I'm sure people are going to want to be talking about right now is how your guys' week matchups went this week. Benny, it's been a while since we've heard from you here. So, you were against the fan club this week, or no, Zealous, right?
No Zealous.
Zealous, right?
They're so
All
fucking.
right. So how did that go? Because I think you were messaging in Conk a little bit there that you thought it should have been a 2-0, but you guys tied. So how did it feel? What happened? You know?
I mean, it basically was a 2-0, right? Like, and I know that's gonna come off as copium or whatever, but I think that like game 1, we kind of like outdrafted ourselves a little bit, and we kind of like face rammed a push lineup into a tinker, which we thought we could do because we're the better team. But honestly, I think we just underestimated the strength of that hero in the Dusa. And even so, like we still were in a really good position to win that game. But then out of nowhere, the carry PG just like bought a rapier, and like in one push we like lost one fight and then just lost the game. So I don't really think that, like, I don't necessarily count that game as a loss in terms of like team metrics or whatever the fuck. Like, obviously we lost the game, yeah, that's gonna make our playoff run a little harder, but like in terms of, because we like to like watch replays and talk about why we lost and like the stupid stuff that we did, stuff we did wrong, what we can improve on. And like I look at that game and it's like, yeah, we like fucked up in the draft and like we made some mistakes in the game, but I don't think we made mistakes that caused us to deserve like losing the game. And then like game 2, like we just proved that we were the better team. Like we completely flattened them. It was like actually, I think we went to 30 minutes, but like we were ahead like that entire game. There was no question about it. Like, and even like game one, like we won every single lane. We were ahead by like a pretty significant net worth margin. Like, these guys are not good. They are not good laners. They're not really that good on mid game fights or anything. Like, we just gave them a draft that could, take one mistake and win the game with it.
So what you're saying is that you think that ZG are a fraudulent 6-win team here. Is that what you're
I
trying
mean,
to say?
what exactly has their schedule been?
So they're
Alright.
6-0. They beat Jackson 5-2-0.
It is not
They
6-0. They've
Oh, sorry.
lost.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize. They're 6 wins is what I was trying to say. Sorry.
Yeah.
They're 6 wins. They 2-0 Jackson 5. They 2-0 SMD. They got 2-0 by Jukes. They tied you, and they tied Krill Eaters. So I'd say it's not like a super weak, uh, schedule. Like I guess Jackson 5, they're definitely bottom
I
of
don't know
the
anything about
division, but
Jackson 5, and I've never really played Wild Daddy in like any serious capacity to have like a read on him, but I can tell you like from watching games that he's been in before, like Wild Daddy is the exact kind of player that would lose to this team. Like, Wild Daddy's like really good. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not like flaming him or anything, but he has this like his I think his Achilles heel is just stupidity, like from himself or from the other team. Like, you ever have those games where like the other team is just playing really stupid, but like you lose anyway because you're so unequipped to like handle it? I think Wild Daddy is like that, and this is exactly the kind of team where they're doing shit that like doesn't really make any fucking sense, but it's working because you can't deal with it.
okay. Okay. So it seems like you're not very high on the ZG train here.
No,
That's
no,
you're not very high.
especially not considering all the fucking trash talk. I mean, I have never said a single bad thing about that team prior to the series. I think like we gave. I'm all for trash talking, and I'm all for like trash talking like people that you have like a rapport with, or like that are okay with it. And I honestly probably wouldn't have minded the trash talk if it was like good spirited, but they literally said like easy, like I don't know. That's bad manners to me. That's like I tipped their fucking offlaner like once, and then like they're ending the game by saying like easy in all chat. Like, nah,
Yeah, that's like
that's
classic Dota,
Hey.
bro. Though, like that's classic is when you like it's a hard game. You had to win through a rapier. That's classic to just hit him with
yeah.
an
You
easy
do
at
that
the
in
end,
pubs
bro.
though. You don't do that in AD2L. That's just like disrespectful. That's just like cringe.
Yeah.
I mean, you just pull out the old Crimson card and just say no all no all chat. I'll take it your ass.
Well, yeah,
That's
no,
true.
but that's the thing is like if they'd said something earlier in the game and it was pissing me off, I would have said no all. But like you drop something like that at the end of the game when like the no all call doesn't matter anymore. Like, I don't know.
I mean, but then you came back in game 2 and it shit on 'em. That's kind of like how our series was.
Well, yeah, we came back game two, we shit
Yeah.
on them, and then Riley said some regrettable stuff in all chat that I promptly screamed at him for, and it's all good.
Okay, I didn't know about that. I'm gonna have to try to check the freaking logs on that. But
Uh,
okay,
am I
anyway.
allowed to say it on this podcast, or are we gonna
Yeah,
get
yeah. Say it, say it,
demonetized?
say it. No,
He
say
said
it, please. Say it.
he said nice all chat retards.
Nice.
Jesus.
I like it. I love that. I love that. You know what? They said on this podcast, all right. Rory said, if you're gonna dish it, you got to be able to take it. So you know what? I'm totally for it. I'm totally for it. But anyway, just to move along here, Rhino, I want to talk about this week for you. I will say off the hop, I like Benny mentioned. I think this was the most obvious 2-0 that probably should have happened. No offense to Crowdfall Fishing Club, but it is a Cheddar Bear stack, and while I've not played against them, I've heard many things about those stacks. So, that being said, though, how do you feel it went, and how do you feel you guys are doing moving forward?
Jesus Christ.
Shit. I mean, this week was free. I think this next week's gonna be free. We're like honestly just waiting for week 7. I think week 7 and tiebreakers are gonna be defining moments for us. and we're just sharpening our fucking swords right now. So I'm sorry for what is it, Jackson 5. And I completely agree. ZG is trash. I really wanted to play these guys. These guys are fucking horrible. Vinny's completely right. They should have 2-0'd. I was betting on it, to be honest. They shit on them in lanes. I think Gab Friend is the best drafter in the league. I like this guy is just on a different note. But yeah, that's I know that wasn't a question, but I had to throw my props, on the Vinny series. So
No, that's totally fair. That's totally fair. But I do want to ask a little bit here because obviously I feel like this is kind of the curse of being popular, right? Where like obviously, you a lot of people know you, Rhino, obviously, and I think a lot of people had high expectations for this team, right? And I think you did as well, honestly. Um, I guess my question for you is, what do you think has gone wrong for you guys so far? I mean, obviously, I think you guys had a relatively okay matchup too. Like a lot of the rounds, I think were supposed to be on the easier side. Slow Twitch Muscle Fibers is a very good team, and they've proven to be very good. But I think going into it, people probably thought that they'd be a little bit lower than they are. Spooky Scary Skeletons. I think people thought you guys would 2-0 that, especially because they had a stand-in. Um, what do you think's been going wrong for you guys? Is it just like a slow start? Is that normal for you, or maybe that chemistry's not been working?
I think Odin said that I've started seasons 04 before. I think we started the season in the wrong positions. I think we started the season on a patch that I didn't really like. And let's see. I think we got really bad pulls. I think Slow Switch Muscle Fibers knows us the best. IPA said it. Like I played with IPA, Blunt has played with IPA. And then we got Savage right after that. So it was just like, fuck, like these fucking, like we could have got Pool Pals. We fucking could have got Jackson 5. We fucking could have got, you know what I mean? We like, give me SMD. I don't give a fuck. Well, we got fucking Savage week 2. So it was just like, that was rough, but I definitely don't think we should have dropped week 3 or week 4 Spooky Scary Skeletons, because then we got a bye too. So it's rough for sure. But I think right now our mindset is on looking at Grin and uh probably MHK, I would
Speaking of
say.
O2 teams up on the grin,
I'm just gonna say,
Uh
please don't look at Grin right now. Please, please do
well,
not look at
I'm pretty
Grin
sure
right
we're
now.
there on the
Hey.
schedule. I'm pretty sure next week, like we have probabilities of playing.
I think we do. My opinion. This is my opinion. I think that if we 2-0 Spike's team, which I think, or at least I hope that we do, I think it will be us against OTF, and that will be fucking really interesting because that means one of us goes and one of us doesn't. So I think that could
If
be
we
a
won
really
one,
interesting
neither of
matchup.
us go.
It's a battle
Oh,
of
it's true.
admissions, man.
It's literally if we
Phoenix
won
versus
one, neither of
Blunted.
us go.
Yeah, that's true. Fuck. Yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting matchup. But yeah, I will say, like, also to give you a little bit of credit too, like, I think it's really shitty when you're down 0-4 like that, and like clearly, it's not been the best start. And I do agree with you that at least your first 2 weeks, I think the matchups were a little tough. It kind of sucks going immediately into a bye week. I feel because it's like you kind of can't kind of cook, I guess. Like try to keep going or anything like that, or like try to like learn and bounce back. I think so. I feel like that's kind of a bad way of going about it. But you guys clearly are on an upward trajectory, and like we were saying, I think you should 2-0 Jackson 5. So I feel like that looks pretty good for you. So I've been saying on this podcast that I think you guys are a good team, and I think you guys are good players. So I definitely expected uh, you guys to have some type of bounce back. So hopefully that can continue.
in
Obviously,
in the spirit of some lighthearted ribbing towards Rhino, when people were calling OTF an O2 team, there can only be so many O2 teams, right? Like, I mean, people would say like Crownfall and Triple S or OTF or Jackson 5 or Animal and like that's like half the league. Like at some point, one of those teams has to kind of rise up out of the muck, and I do think that OTF really could be that team.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that, 100%. And then Clarkles, if you want to close this one out here, or at least this question out, you guys played. Oh, I don't even remember who you guys played. I think you
Pool
played
Pals.
Pool Pals. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys got the 2-0. So how did that go?
Yeah. Game 1 was pretty convincing. All of our lanes went well. Lorenzo the God absolutely went off in that game. I think he had like 20-0 or 20-3 or something stupid like that. And then game 2, we got a little bit kind of cocky with it. Again, we were kind of stomping all throughout the game, and then I think they drafted a way better team fight than us, and that kind of started to show. But then again, Lorenzo the God just kind of backdoored him and won the game at 48 minutes. It was unreal.
That's perfect. That's perfect. And you guys were playing without Chev that week, and you got a 2-0. So I think that
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know what that says about Chev, but no, I'm joking.
He got
Joking,
replaced
obviously.
by someone who's one letter off his name. I mean,
Yeah,
replacement.
Chev. I mean,
It's pretty much the same thing, I think.
yeah.
So
Maybe
yeah,
it was Chev. We'll never know.
we'll never know. We'll never know. But also, really quickly here, I also wanted to touch on next week matchups and how you guys think that's going to go. Benny, you guys were playing against Animal Enclosure. How do you think that's going to go? Because I think a lot of people discounted Animal Enclosure. You know, I think I also probably was one of the people that discounted them, but they've at least been doing pretty good recently. So I'm not sure what your thoughts are, about playing against them.
I don't know, man. No one's doing AZ's homework for him this time, so
All right, so you think it's going to be a pretty easy 2-0 then? Is that what I'm hearing?
I mean, I have to be perfectly honest. I have no fucking clue who he's actually picked up to play on that team, but based on what I was like seeing at the time of my potential stand-in, I did not see anything worth worrying about.
All right. So you're feeling good here.
Yeah.
You're feeling confident. I will say that their 4 is pretty good. I think for his rank he's pretty value.
Who's
But
playing for them?
I don't even remember his name, to
Talking
be
about
honest with you.
Daraj. Talking about Daraj.
No. That's I don't think Daraj is their
Oh
4.
no, he's on the Warrior. He's on the Warrior stack. Sure.
Yeah.
The Heart Run?
It's some other guy. No, Heart Run's their 5. God damn it! This is the problem when you fucking roster switch so much. I don't remember. It's someone that our new carry actually knows. I don't know, but I think he's for his rank he's pretty good because I think he's like a Legend 5 or a low
Oh yeah.
ancient,
Okay.
and I think he
He's not
plays
on the
pretty good.
website then.
Yeah, I know he's not on the website, but you know what? It sounds like you got some confidence there though, so that's good. Sounds like you're thinking it's going to be an easy 2-0. So that's perfect. There you go. I also want to quickly touch on how Scythes week went as well, as much as I don't want to. Um, I will say there's been a little bit of a mix up too. I don't want to talk about it too much, but we did replace our carry, which I think was the right choice. I think we were a little jailed the first 4 weeks.
Oh, you got rid
So
of Lambert? No way.
yeah,
What?
it's
What?
He was doing so well.
well, like I said, it's nothing to do with gameplay. I think Benny said it best. I like playing with him. I think at the end of the day, AD2L is it's a competitive environment, but I think at the end of the day, we're all playing AD2L to have fun, right? So as a general rule, I don't want to play with people that I don't have fun playing with. So I
So
think
he's
that's
toxic. Is what you're telling me.
I didn't say that, but anyway, so yeah, we swapped out our one there for Mark. I think he played actually quite well. Um,
Who did?
I think that our new carry, his name's
Oh,
Mark, but yeah,
oh,
I
good
think
holy shit.
he played well. I think that it was weird because against the enclosure, it felt like we won our lanes I think both games leading the or coming out of the lane stage, we were up at least a couple thousand, and then we couldn't quite transition that to a game win, which we were very good at that last season. Like, I mean, Rhino's here. He played with us last season as a carry. I think we were very good at being able to draft our lanes, win the lanes, and then group and take objectives. And it felt like we struggled with doing that last part against Animal Enclosure. And I think that their carry was very good at AFK farming, and I don't think we provided enough pressure to do that effectively. So even though we kind of had the advantage in the early to mid, I think we threw the mid to late against them both games. They were better than I give them credit for. I think Scythe also is having a little bit of a bad season, so I don't know. We're definitely underperforming. I expected us to do better than we have for sure. I'm a little disappointed in myself as well. I think that I've done pretty okay. I think in a lot of the games, even in some of the losses, I think I've done okay. But I think I've done worse than I expected in some of the games. So hoping obviously for a bounce back next week. But
You pick
anyway,
Viper, you deserve to lose. I'm being real.
True.
it's
True.
true. It's true.
I'll drink to that.
I did pick Viper and I did lose with it. So that's just
Deserved.
a little unfortunate. It's just a little unfortunate, but
All love, but deserved.
Can we get your Viper impression?
not quite yet. Later though. Later. Don't worry. Don't worry.
We'll come back to
Um,
that.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. For next week matchups, Rhino kind of touched a little bit on Jackson 5, so we could probably leave that. But for Krill Eaters, you guys are against Jukes Angels, and that's a pretty strong team. So how do you guys feel matching up against them?
We think we match up pretty well. I think probably their best player is probably Killua, right? He's pretty cracked to pause one from what I've heard. I don't really know like, any of the guys. I'm still pretty new to the league, so I'm not familiar with any of them. But I've heard their carry is really, really good. And so I'm kind of excited to face off against a good carry. I don't respect a whole lot of carries in Conk. I'm gonna be completely honest. No flame.
Ouch.
Actually, I'm flaming. Nah, fuck all you guys. All you pause ones, you guys all suck. But
But are you
so
guys asking Chev to glaze their whole team first?
nah, it's not needed.
Oh.
No, it's not needed.
Oh.
Nah, but real talk, I think it'll be a good series. We're feeling really, really confident. We had some really good review sessions the last couple weeks, figured out our issues, and yeah, we're just feeling really confident this going into it. 4 straight wins. Feeling good.
Feeling good. Feeling good. All right. Yeah. I think yeah, I mean like Jukes I think a lot of people had them as one of the top teams. They did get 2-0'd by SMD though, which I
Yeah.
think has been a bit of a revelation for people this season for sure. And to go along with that, I wanted to talk a little bit about the teams that are kind of not guaranteed, well, essentially guaranteed out. I wanted to get kind of an opinion from the field here if this is where we kind of expected things to go. I think this season's been very interesting in the sense of I think it's been a very competitive season. I think a lot of teams have looked, I think, better than people thought, and a lot of teams have looked worse than people thought. And I think it probably speaks to the overall level of gameplay. But for the teams that are guaranteed out, we kind of have Pool Pals, Jackson 5, Dota Under the Influence, Crownfall Fishing. Do you guys think that this is kind of what we expected? Is there anyone in there that shocks you at all?
I know I was surprised to see Dota Under the Influence getting kind of shafted this season. I think that Caleb Spark is like, I think he's the only immortal carry in the league, right?
Yeah, he is.
And to be honest, from my perspective, I think he's probably the only other carry player in the league I respect personally. So going into the season, I was expecting them to do really well, but after playing them, I think that And I mean this with nothing but respect for all individuals involved, but I just don't think Caleb Spark has surrounded himself with a caliber of team that suits his pedigree or whatever you want to
Mhm.
call it.
I'm kind of in the same boat after we played them. I'm gonna be real, we kind of stomped them. But you know, I know some of the guys on the team, like Kenny, he was playing in Challenger last season, so it's a pretty big jump from Challenger up to Conk and being like underranked for Conk too. And I think it definitely a big like reality check playing against some pretty good safe lanes when Kenny was like destroying in Challenger to kind of getting owned in Conk. It's a big difference
Yeah,
going from
that's definitely a hell of a jump for sure.
going from
Yeah.
legends to divines.
I also do feel bad for them because they've had some roster instability, which I
Mhm.
think has not been anyone's fault necessarily, but it's always shitty when it's when you kind of have a little bit of a revolving door. I think they've had to change 2 players, so that sucks for them. I would agree though. I think that's a good shout because on paper I think they looked like they could have been a decent roster, but I definitely feel like it's a little shocking. I mean, they're kind of giving out wins like candy, honestly. I don't know. It's fucking 2-0 here, 2-0 there. So um
I
I
think one
guess
thing that we noticed really bad was and again, no flame to Caleb. I know he's a really good player, but he kind of you can tell in the games when he kind of tilts and he's over it. Like if you guys go like watch some of our games against them 2 weeks ago, you could see where he kind of starts making these really like just like irritated plays. Like one player we were pushing high ground, getting racks, and he TPs in like on the racks in between 4 of us on Medusa, and we were like, "What is he doing?" We turn around and kill him and won the game. So like little plays like that when you start getting frustrated, and it's been a rough season, but we all have them, so it's just really unfortunate.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, totally fair.
yeah, if you watch his streams, you can kind of get a sense for what I'm talking about. Like, you can tell like the game actions he's taking and everything are all like on one page, and then the rest of the team seems to kind of be on the other, and it seems like he has to sort of try and make that connection.
Yeah, he what like cuz I've watched a little bit of his POVs as well, and it does seem like he's got a I don't know how to say it. It seems like he's got to be very vocal, in kind of what people should be doing, which obviously like I do feel bad for him for, but at the same time, I mean, you also made the team or helped make the team, so I think that got to surround yourself with some talent. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess it's
I think it's really hard from the carry position to kind of like direct traffic. Granted, our team Lorenzo does like a lot of our mid to late game calling when he gets to the point he's feeling confident. But at least the early to mid, like until that point, me and Chev and like Alex or Spyro, like we all know what to do, what needs to happen, what needs to like what we need to do until that point. But I'm sure it's really tough to have to direct traffic the entire game from the carry position when you're across the map farming.
yeah, no, for sure, for sure. And Rhino, do you have any input on that, or are you surprised at some of the bottom seeded teams? Does it kind of make sense for you, or?
I mean, no, I'm not really surprised. I mean, I think schedules influenced a lot of this shit, to be honest. I don't think SMD is as good as top seed. Um, I don't think ZG, I mean, as we touched on, is as good as where they're at, to be honest. I think they're a fraudulent 6-win team. So I think playoffs is going to be really interesting when some of these teams, like in the upper bracket, that aren't like honestly the better team at that point. But I don't know. I personally think Juke's Angels may miss playoffs. That's my hot take.
Oof.
You think they're gonna
Can they?
miss playoffs?
Jesus.
Can they?
Holy shit! Wait,
I think
elaborate on that a
I don't
little
think
bit.
they. I
That's
don't think
fucking
they
that's
can.
crazy.
Can
well,
they?
they're at 7. They're at 7. So they get 2-0 this week. They get 2-0 next week, and they lose tiebreaker. They're out of
They
playoffs.
could, yeah. They technically could. They technically
I
okay. You gotta elaborate. Why do you think they're gonna misplay it? They were the top seeded team for weeks now. Come on.
I've spoken to Juke. I like the guys on that team. I think Will Killua is really good at the game. I think Juke is Juke. But I think that team is stuck. I think they're stuck really bad, a really bad spot. They're stuck and they have to play really hard teams still. And that's like not a place you want to be, right? Like I think they're definitely gonna get 2-0 this week. With Chev coming back, that's gonna like spark up that team. And then next week, I mean, they have to play. They potentially either play LTF or they play. Let's see, or they can play what Grin, like those like, or they play Savage.
Yeah.
Like it's like they're like they're not like their road never ends. To be
All they have
honest,
to do is win like one game, and they're pretty much.
they need to win one game. But like those games are not gonna be easy wins. Like nothing. And
Yeah.
like all those teams they're facing are fighting for playoff spots, right? Like fucking Team Macro Eater, they're not going to give games up, right? They need those wins, and then
All
whoever they play
right.
next week will need those wins.
All right. Let me just pause for a second. All right. Let me just turn down the temperature for a second. Macro Leader got 2-0'd by Scythe, and we're fucking dog shit. I mean, come on. You really think that?
We
Hey,
also
I
got
mean,
2-0'd by
come on.
Scythe.
Like,
Man,
can we just let's just fucking calm
No,
the
no, no,
fuck
no.
down,
If
bro.
they
Like,
have Lorenzo there, I think they 2-0. That series
you,
was on me. I told Chev that. I told Chev
I.
that. If they have Lorenzo, they 2-0 that series. So serious.
Oh my
Come on, Phoenix.
god.
Let's be honest here. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest here.
All right. Let's be honest.
Hey,
Let's be honest.
hey, Phoenix.
No, no, wait. Let Rhino cook. Let's do you. Let's be honest about what? You mean like obviously with Lorenzo they would 2-0 us? You think?
They would 2-0 you guys. I don't think it'd be very close right now. In y'all's current iteration, I do not think it'd be a close 2 game.
All right. All right. I mean, I'll give you that because I did say after that series ended, that I think Lorenzo's hero pool would have been a little better because I think that they kind of force picked you some heroes that you were comfortable on that didn't make sense. I said when it happened, I think that brood pick in the second game was really bad. I think it made no sense. So I think if they did have Lorenzo, I think it could have gone a little better. But then I mean, if we're playing hypothetical, I mean, like I was saying before, I mean, we were essentially jailed the first 4 weeks. So I mean, who knows how it would have gone if we had like a different option there, right? So I mean, but listen, you know what? I appreciate those takes though. That's a fucking wild
I
take. That's a
I will
wild.
say I think if we played you guys week 2, we also probably would have 2-0'd you.
All right, that's a wild take too, because we won the second game fairly convincingly. Holy
Well, yeah, I
shit!
mean,
This
we were a
fucking
dog
this is
shit team
fucking.
on week 1.
All right,
Frost and
yeah.
I both just had a season off, and we hadn't played together as a team in like several months.
I think the biggest issue is like we both our teams have a lot to prove, and we're playing dog shit teams this week. So it's just like realistically, we're just waiting till the next week. Like, and I like if we 2-0 this week, no one's gonna take us any more serious. If Grin 2-0s this week, I mean, some people may take you guys a little more serious, but like realistically, it's not gonna be like a staple win, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
gonna be
I
a win.
think I think this week in particular is tricky for. I agree with you that if you 2-0, I think no one will care because Jackson 5 is no offense to them. I mean, I Mango was on the show. He was a great guy, but that's just not been a good team. Like they've not looked very good in a lot of their games. So I think if you 2-0, like it's totally fine. I mean, like, against the Skeletons, like they're above us in wins for sure, right? So I mean, I think if we 2-0 it'd be cool. But yeah, I think going into it, a lot of people kind of expected them to be a lower seeded team, so we probably wouldn't get that many props for that. I think people would have hoped for that to have happened for us, but yeah, no, that makes sense. Also, by the way, I thought Frost played last season. I remember playing against him last season.
Oh, maybe he did play last season.
I'm
Oh yeah, it
positive
was the
he
season
did.
before that I think he
Yeah,
took off.
yeah, because I think last season you guys had Jamokin and Frost was still on the 3, I believe.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, in any case, like I still hadn't played AD2L or a serious amount of Dota in my break. And
Yeah, that's
like
fair.
me, like, I mean, people have said it before, and they'll say it again a million times. Like, me feeling like good and confident is like 99% of our, well, actually that's way overblowing that metric, but it's a large chunk of our like component of victory. And like, I came back, I was on like a really bad losing streak on pubs. I lost like 2k MMR or something stupid like that. Like, I almost like forgot how to win games, to be honest. So I don't know.
Hey, that's me. That's fair. Yeah. No, okay, that's fair. That's fair. I still can't get over that take though that you think Juke's not even gonna make playoffs. That's
I
whack.
think that'd be
That's
crazy. I think
that's fucking that's
I was
crazy.
I was thinking MHK fan club was gonna miss playoffs.
Okay, wait.
maybe.
I
Explain
think
that too.
I
Okay.
no, but wait.
Whoa.
I think
Oh
they're
my god.
I think they're fake, but
What? You
then
think
I
they're
look.
fake?
Yeah, well, yeah. I think.
All
But
right. Why?
then I look, and they're facing Zealous this week, and that's a free 2-0, so they're not missing playoffs. So forget that point. Just forget it. Just forget it.
Okay, but why though? Like, why do
Oh,
you think
because
the fan
they
club's fake?
they start off 4-0, but they face Crownfall in the first week, and they face Scythe the second week. And you guys even said you're a weak iteration this season, still like cycling through players, kind of figure stuff out. And then they get to next week, they get 1-1. Next week again, they get 1-1, and then they get 2-0 the next week. So like they're just getting worse and worse as people trying to like they're figuring out these cheese strats they do and how they draft this weird shit. And so I just think that if they're facing another good team this week, I think they would get 2-0 again. But they're facing ZG, so they're gonna be fine.
I mean, they also did tie Jukes Angels and Savage though. I mean, like, those are pretty good teams, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. But I think people still weren't like respecting like their kind of cheesy like stuff they do at that point.
All
I
right.
know,
All
like
right.
last season, I saw like I played against my warrior, like Twubs and his support. They did like Razor Ogre, and you would just chain feed by getting ignited, and then Razor run you down with Link and uh, whatever Razor's Q is called. So there's like little cheese shit like that. And he played like sniper off lane one game this season, I think. So like,
Yeah. I think
Yeah, you
the
definitely did.
I think my thing is just like, I don't think any of the preseason favorites have looked like good.
Yeah, super good.
And
Yeah.
like, I mean, like what? I mean, Jukes Angels, I mean, Rhino was just cooking them. Fan Club, we were kind of just cooking them. Who else was a favorite? I mean,
Okay, whoa.
Scythe.
Crownfall was not a fucking favorite. What are you talking
did I say?
about?
I didn't
What?
say Crown.
Yeah,
I didn't
you
mean to
said
say Crownfall.
Crownfall. Yeah,
I
yeah,
meant
yeah. I
to
was
say,
like, what are you talking
I said
about?
Fan Club, didn't I?
No,
I'd
you
say
said.
I
none of those
I
teams were
heard
favorites coming into this shit though.
I
I thought
think.
people were saying Fan Club and Jukes Angels were like the two best teams going into the
No, no,
season.
no, no,
No.
no,
Oh
no.
hell
I,
no.
I, I I think I think Jukes Angels people did think highly of. I think a lot of people thought Jukes would be high. I think a lot of people thought Scythe would be high, and
I
I
put a
think
lot
a
of
lot of
respect
people
on
thought.
IPA stack.
Yeah, and I think a
Looks
lot of
good.
people thought Krill would be high too. And it's funny because I remember, like you were saying, as like when going into it, people were saying Scythe would be high, and I kept telling people we are not going to be the same team. Like we are a very different team. We are losing our four, who is a very good player. He is a immortal level player, and we are losing our offlane. Like it was never going to be the same Scythe. I think people definitely thought a little too highly of us, but
And you gained
I
Lambert.
Jeez, you
Yeah,
said that, not
that
me.
was
Holy
crazy.
shit! Wow, that's fucking
I
all
mean,
right.
it's probably. I mean, you guys dropping and kicking him, it's a blessing. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, I'm just saying you were talking about the ways your team was different. That was a different thing. I didn't say it
I
was a
mean
good or bad thing.
that's
I'll
true.
say
It was a
I'll say it's a
different
bad thing.
thing. Oh,
I'll say it's
Jesus
a bad thing.
Christ.
Do you think Revamp overestimated how much he like changes the game? And then that's why like he thought like letting KCMJ go and changing like your roster this much was like not gonna be as influential as it has been to you guys' production.
Okay, that's a pretty good question, actually.
I know Revamp. I play a lot with Revamp. I think that's like sort of his thinking.
I think okay. Wow, I gotta really think about how to answer it. Okay, I think that like I said before, I would revert back to that in that I think AD2L is a competitive environment, but I think people play it for fun. And at the end of the day, if you're not having fun with a player, I think it's reasonable to drop the player. That's what I'm going to say. So I think that if we wanted to win, okay, if winning was all we cared about, Casey was a very is not was is a very good offlaner. He was a very good offlaner. I think he contributed to our wins last season. I think him and Moff had very good synergy. I think it worked very well. Um, was did it make sense to drop him from Revamp's position and partially from mine? I think yes. I think that they had some. I think there were some issues there. So I'm not surprised that we went the way that we did. I think obviously it is tough to replace him. That being said, I do think Pat actually plays quite good. That's our offlaner now. I think he plays good, but I think the bigger thing has honestly been that Scythe for the past 2 seasons, we've had a very hard time with carries. Honestly, I mean Simba, like I love Jeff. I've known him for a very long time. I think most people would agree that he's not a super high class carry. And then kind of obviously Rhino, you filled that as well, and I mean I loved playing with you. I had a lot of fun playing with you, but you're obviously
Nah,
not a carry, right?
just
You're
talk your shit,
obviously
dog. Come on, don't quit apologizing. Talk
no
your
no
shit.
no 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 no. I actually thought that playing with Rhino was a lot of fun, especially one. I felt like I synergized with him very well,
Let
but
let the
he's not a
beers
carry
flow
though.
through you, Phoenix. Let them flow through you.
No. I can't unleash myself, dude. But
Come
then
on.
obviously we went to Lambert, and now we finally found a carry that I think feels pretty good. But I think that's been the bigger issue, honestly, is the fact that we've kind of had a not a very stable one.
Who is your carry
Um,
now?
his name's Mark. I think his Discord name is it's like Hua Hua or something like that. But it's been good. Like the vibes have been better, but yeah, I think with the amount of change that we've had, it's possibly been a negative for sure. I guess I would say, but
Tong Kanan?
yes, that's the yeah
I see.
yeah. I think that also, like I was saying, I think I've underperformed in some games too. You were talking about top three mids and Chev being on there. I mean, in a perfect world, I think I would be too. I think I'm a pretty
Yeah,
good player. I
I
think I
agree.
should be top
Not when you play
three.
Viper.
Apparently not, yeah, but no, like I think I hold myself to very high standards, and I think last season I proved that I was one of the best mids, and I think this season I don't think I've gone. I don't know. I don't think I've done as well as I think that I should have. So I
And
can only blame myself on that as
you shit
well.
on us. So, I mean,
I did solo kill Shev
thanks.
and take his tower by minute 7 as
Thanks for
Lash
that.
against Invoker. So that felt pretty good. That felt pretty good. But you know what? I'm only a B tier mid and Shev is an A. So that's got to count for
Yeah,
something,
I'm
right?
only a
So
B tier offlaner, so I feel you, dog. B tier for
that's
life.
you know what? Listen, these things happen, Clarkles. What can you do? You know what I mean? That's
I,
just
I'm shit. What else is there to
I've
say?
I've been told that Jazar is he's the voice of the Messiah. He's always right. So what can you do about that? But yeah. And then just to flip the switch here, I know we're getting low on time probably, so we don't have to go too in depth on this. And we've kind of touched on this, but the teams that are top seeded right now, Rhino graced us with his hot take of Juke not even making playoffs here. Is there any other top seeded teams that you guys are a little bit surprised about? Because at least from my perspective, I'm kind of surprised by at least 2 of the 3 teams that are actually top seeded. I think IPA stack is good, but I think he baited me, dude. That's on him because when we had him on episode 1, he said he was like a lower bracket contender. Now this motherfucker's 7 wins. Like what the hell, dude? And I mean SMD, I don't think anyone rated them that highly at all. But here they are, top of the
Mhm.
bracket. So I mean, how are you guys feeling about these top teams? Are you guys surprised by any of them? Do you think that they're fraudulent? I mean, do you think they're not going to miss playoffs? Like what?
What number are we stopping at on the leaderboard? Like yours, like the top 3 teams, top 5 teams, because the
Go
number
with any
5
of them.
team,
No, go
Animal
with any of them.
Enclosure. I'm very surprised they're up there after the explosive start they had of the season. You know what I mean? I I thought that team was going to disband for sure, and they weren't even gonna like. But here they are, top 5. Well, technically they're tied for 4th, but Either way,
it's
doing
okay.
way
I
better
mean,
than.
they're not an explosive team anymore. Malibu isn't on it.
Thank you for catching on to the joke.
That's
Manny. I
true.
appreciate
That's
it.
true though. There's no more explosions. There's no. No, I think you're right though. I think that's a totally fair shout. I think that especially after all that instability there, they had to change 2 players, one forcibly, one not. I think it's reasonable to think that they wouldn't be top 5, or I guess there's like a fucking like 5-way tie for 6, but I think that's a pretty good shout. I think that's a pretty good shout. Benny, do you have anyone?
I mean, we already kind of touched on like SMD, the Wild Daddy team that is, an Animal Enclosure. I'd say like, well, I mean, I'll say what we're all thinking. Zealous Gaming being tied for second, third, fourth, whatever.
Yeah, I was giving him a break. But yeah, I
I
feel you.
mean, they are a friend stack that plays in AD2L like once every, I don't know, blood moon or some shit. And they're not a good team. They don't have good players. Like they can take games off of teams, but they're not gonna win this fucking division. Let's be honest. Like they're just not gonna win this division.
Clip it.
Clip
They
it.
might.
Clip
I
it.
Clip it.
I predict at like the best, they're probably gonna make upper bracket and then like jump out immediately because that is exactly what happened the last time they were in Conqueror, which was I think 2 seasons ago. The last season I played was we met them first round playoffs. We 2-0'd them like really easily, and then they like went out in the lower bracket like immediately. So
Okay, that's a pretty good shout then too.
I just don't know a team that they beat in a best of 3.
no, I don't think there is among the teams that are going to make it into playoffs. Whatever teams those end up being, which at this point is fucking completely unpredictable. Of the teams that are going to make it into the playoffs, I do not think Zealous will be able to take a full series against any of them. They will get one game, and they will not get the series.
Okay, interesting. All right, and then Rhino, do you have anything else to grace us with besides the fact that Juke's not making playoffs? Is there any other of the top teams that you're surprised about? You think any other hot takes for me?
Talk your shit right now. Come on.
I
Come on.
mean, I got us beating all 3 teams in the top 3 right now, our current iteration.
Okay.
I think the only teams
Holy
that,
shit!
the only teams that are
Holy
warranted,
shit!
only
Okay.
teams are warranted are the 2 people in this Discord, and I mean that's all I say. I truly think when we get to playoffs, it's going to be very quick what's going to happen, and like Grin may sneak in there, maybe, but
No.
like I think I truly think like these teams are going to get decimated in BO3s.
My
Unless
man,
like
my man 2-0'd Crownfall, and he's got the
Yeah,
confidence
what
to
the
run it.
fuck?
I
It's
know
got 2
I
crown
truly
falls.
because I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the vision here.
Y'all are Rhino noobs if you think this is unexpected. This is
I'm
exactly
seeing the vision.
Rhino's out of the chrysalis, bro.
So I'm looking at their games against Crownfall. I mean, it looks like Blunted took his nap before that series and is packed the fuck off.
Blunted's a new
Oh.
person. I don't know if we can go by Blunted anymore.
He's a new person.
Dude, I don't know. Like that man had to change it. We talked about a name change after that game. I don't know. That guy's different as fuck. Listen,
gonna
I'm
just-
saying for all y'all, bro. Like, that's all I'm saying.
Dude, I just can't believe the fact that you guys 2-0'd the worst team in the league, and now you're coming out here saying you're
Dude.
gonna beat all of the top 8 teams.
I
Dude.
want to see. I want to see everybody but the people in this call. And I promise you, I think Gav's the scariest draft in the league, and I think
fuck.
Mac Reader has like good coaching and is gotten a lot better. So that's why I'm scared of them. Not really scared, but like I would rather not see them right now. Like let's see them in like a couple weeks, 3, 4, 5 weeks.
I'm just worried, man. Y'all are gonna be too cocky and drop a game to someone you're not supposed to drop a game to.
I think it's really scary, man. Like I think me and Rhino, like this is like the worst position to be in. Like one dropped game in a stupid fucking way, even, and we're fucked. It's done essentially. It's fucking done.
Blunted forgets to take his nap, has a bad day at school.
Yeah, he has a bad day at school.
Any of that.
He fails his math test, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, he fucking fails his math test. He comes home. He's like all fucking emo about it, dude. It's fucking.
Gym class. He had a bad day at gym class today. Some of that high school shit.
He
He
got
comes
picked
home and just
last.
yeah. I mean, got hit in the face with a
Oh,
dodgeball. I mean, just any of that
fuck
shit. I mean,
no,
just
dude.
drop the
He's-
ball.
I know, no, it does suck though. Honestly, it's a shitty spot to be in, but I think that it also does kind of separate the winners from the losers too, right? Like I think when your back's against the wall, that's when the real fire comes out, and I think that's when the people that are going to succeed, that's when they will succeed, right? Like it's those types of moments that kind of define a winner, right? And I do think that OTF has winners on
Yeah,
their lineup, so.
if there's anyone that's going to do it, it's going to Blunted. It will carry that team. Absolutely.
It'll be Blunted and Rhino, dude. I believe, dude. Rhino last season was my hype man along with me, bro. Me and him, we were hyping the rest of Scythe, dude. We were going huge in comms. So you know what? I have full faith in them. I have full faith in them. And then really quick, just before people go, just really fast on the fly, gun to your head. Who's winning the season? Clarkles, go.
Team macro leader.
Okay, all right. Rhino, who's winning?
OTF's winning this season, man.
Oh, you guys are fucked. Benny, who's winning?
You
Shit.
got the worst people in here for that shit.
Who's winning, Benny? Come on.
I mean, if it ain't us, it's OTF.
Oh,
What?
shit.
Come on, we're gonna fucking own. We're gonna own. I'm so sorry. I'm so
What?
sorry. I've never been more confident. I've never been more
Dude.
confident.
Holy
week
shit.
Week one, I was not talking like this. Week one, I was not talking like this. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say.
This
Okay, but
episode's
there ain't
getting
no fucking
dropped,
way.
and Rhino's not gonna stop talking.
There ain't no fucking way
Oh.
though that fucking Benny just said
Benny
OTF
said
is
OTF.
winning
I don't wanna
besides
click that.
Savage.
Benny said OTF.
There
I
ain't
don't
no
wanna click that.
fucking.
I'm
There's
so
someone
disgusted
clip.
right now.
All right, let me try that again. Clarkles, besides your own team, who's winning? Who's winning besides your own team?
Clarkles, say it. Say it, Clarkles, say it.
It's gotta be OTF, honestly. I mean,
Oh, you're
Oh, that's crazy.
Rhino, besides your own team, who's winning,
Dude,
dude?
fuck. I would love to see. I would see Savage Back Reader. Like I truly think.
Rhino,
it could
I
be
just-
one of the-
Oh, whatever,
Dude.
dude. You guys are fucking. You guys gonna fucking meet up after this call
You're
and go
talking to
fucking
one
make out?
champion right now. You're talking to one champion right now.
can I change
Jesus
my answer? Rhino
Christ.
betrayed me. I'm changing my answer.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
You're both in the finals.
It's gonna be ZG.
Okay, we're fucking cooking too hard. Now.
Let's go Savage ZG Grand
Oh my
Finals. Let's
God.
go.
I mean, realistically,
Jesus.
if you ask that question, right? Like, who could it be outside of us three though?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like-
That's
like
what I'm
Jukes
trying to
Angels,
say.
You know what I mean? Like Jukes Angels, like I don't think they have it. I think MHK. Some
I
people
don't
have
think
it
they
in
will.
playoffs. So
MHK definitely not. I think IPA stack. I don't know, the Juke Angels take is fucking wild.
I mean, you
Blows
don't
my
even
mind.
think Juke's not making playoffs.
Watch-
Obviously, you don't
watch-
think they're gonna
watch.
fucking make the fucking finals.
these next 3 weeks are going to be a whirlwind. Just watch.
I think
That's all I'll
Savage
say.
OTF finals could go really hard.
Oh god,
I
I
really
hope
don't want
so.
to see Benny in the finals.
God, I
Please,
hope
God.
so.
If I make finals, I just hope Benny's not there.
God, let's
Like,
go,
that's-
please,
I want to
please.
see. I want to see Benny in the finals.
Give it to me, baby.
Fuck.
Give it to me.
I
I don't
see.
think
This is
anyone wants
like
Savage in the finals, bro.
I'm like confused now because I honestly was pretty confident that I thought Jukes was gonna fucking win the whole thing. Like off their performances, like in the weeks that they've won, they looked so good, and I think that Kilauea is like played really well. But now you guys are like fucking with me. Like now, like fuck,
Dude,
like
he's got Jenny ahead.
dude, he's in my head. He's in the Matrix, dog. Like is he not even making fucking playoffs now? Like I had him
No,
winning the
guys.
whole league, dude. Like
Are
holy
they really?
how it
Are they
goes.
that good? Are they?
If they lose to Team Crow Eater, I would say they are not making playoffs. Pretty confidently.
But then
really?
if they drop down, they're
Wow.
gonna be down in like that middle of the
But then
pack.
they have to play either us or Grin.
Yeah, yeah. So
Then
he's
all I have to do is take one game.
That's one game, but we can't drop a game. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like
I'm more scared for you than I am for them.
all I gotta say is that Rhino is
after getting 2-0 by you guys. I don't think so.
All I'm saying is that Rhino is inadvertently so confident in Grin Sight this season that he thinks that we could win 2-0 over Jukes Angels. That's wild work, Rhino. I don't know.
If Scythe,
That's fucking
if Scythe can
crazy.
2-0 Jukes Angels, I think the whole season's like trashed at that point.
Yeah, I
I
think we
think
just win, bro.
I think Side's winning it all at that point. I mean, if they 2-0,
Yeah,
I'm
I mean, like,
just,
holy shit, dude.
I'll
That's
I'll throw
fucking
my
wild.
game against you guys for you to win it all. I mean, I'll just
I think the
That's
mental of that
crazy.
team isn't talked about enough, to be honest.
Really?
That's
Okay.
that's all I'll say. I think that, and that's why I credit, like, if Team Crow Eater can 2-0 them, and if they have to see us or Grin after that, you're not gonna see the same Jukes Angels as the first 2-3 weeks, in my opinion. That's why
I
I'll base
definitely
the
think
take on.
there will be a lot of
Okay.
morale damage for sure.
Their morale is
Okay.
gonna be so fried. Juke and Chev have a little rivalry. It's not talked about in the media a lot. It's hidden. I won't talk on it. It's not mine to talk about, but they have a rivalry. There's a rivalry there.
So there's they both have an incentive to win here, for
Oh,
sure.
for sure. Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. These are some gems that you're dropping here. I did not expect you to say a lot of what you said. So that's crazy. Okay. All right. So, um, yeah, I guess for winners, you guys are picking your own teams. It kind of makes sense. I think if I were to do my own prediction of who I thought might win, I don't think we're probably winning, but but if I had to pick another team to win, like I said, I was gonna say Jukes Angels, but now I'm just fucking rattled.
You know
So,
you know the answer
um,
you want to say, so just say it.
see, I really like the fan club just because they pick weird shit, and I really like that because it kind of makes me think of when I used to play Dota, like in a competitive-ish mindset, where we used to just pick whatever the fuck we wanted. So like I kind of want to say them, but I think that I don't know. I almost wouldn't be surprised if IPA wins because I think that they've had some pretty good results recently. I think they're looking pretty good. I think their mid laner Morn is pretty good. Like I think the one game I saw, I watched his POV in like a puck game, I think. And I think he went 20 plus kills or something with very little deaths. Like he did really good. So I think that could be like an outside shout maybe to I wouldn't be shocked, but I also will say that I don't think IPA Stack had a super hard um, matchups. Like they had OTF, and OTF was a bye week initially. Sorry, Rhino, it's just a reality. So they had
Oh,
them, and then they had Jackson 5 Pool Pals. I mean, those are pretty fairly easy matchups. But I think that would be at least a partial shout. I think I'm not sure how you guys are feeling about that team, but possibility. I think.
so Jackson 5 took a game off of them. What are the odds Jackson 5 takes a game off OTF? This week. Just throwing it out there.
I think it was off a mid pudge too. I think, if I remember correctly. So Rhino, you better get blunted to watch out for the Jackson 5 mid pudge. That's all I'm gonna say. All I'm gonna say.
Blunted better skip school that day. That's all I'm gonna
We
say.
picked Fudge.
You better skip
First pick.
You better
school.
skip school that day. Oh my god. Oh fuck. All right. Fuck it all. Well, listen. I think we've kept you guys pretty long. I appreciate all you guys coming on. I think we're gonna call the Chronicles here.
I have one thing to ask Benny real quick. This is
Sure.
my
Okay.
first time interacting with Benny like in an actual voice chat. Benny,
All
you
right.
sound so sophisticated. What the fuck are these gifs you keep posting in this game?
Oh man, I
Your
can't take
voice is
full
very
credit
deep
for
and
it.
manly.
Dude, it's
Thank
very
you.
concerning. Like
It's
I
it's
can't.
actually very erotic, honestly.
I
I
mean,
can't take. I can't
it's
take
okay.
credit for
Chill
it.
out. Relax.
I have a friend. One of my friends that I used to play Dota with. He spamming like weird animal gifs was like his thing back when we first started using Discord. He would just post these like weird ass videos of like animals doing dumb shit. Goodbye, Rhino. And he doesn't want to hear it. That's fair. Um, we it's just like a habit that like we just like communicate in weird animal gifs sometimes. So it's just like a habit, you know.
Dedicated weird animal.
And I mean, who doesn't like Donkey Kong, right?
I mean, I'm getting some furry vibes a little bit here, but
Some what?
some furry vibes.
No,
from Betty.
no. Don't accuse me of that. I will say some really hateful things and probably get muted again. I really don't want that to happen. I really don't want that to happen, so I'm gonna ask you to kindly cease.
Were you not there that day that he went off on furries?
No, I think I was at work and I missed it before he deleted it all.
Oh,
yeah.
he
I
fucking-
didn't
he went
delete.
off,
Maybe I deleted it. I don't remember, but
All I'm
you
gonna
were
say
a-
is control F furry from Benny, dude. That's all I'm gonna say. You're gonna get some gems, dude. You're gonna get some fucking gems.
It's probably
Oh.
time for us to call it because here's Phoenix, saying Benny's voice is erotic. He wants a tap blunted.
Jesus Christ.
Rhino's already
Alright.
called. I mean,
All right, call it. Anyways, I appreciate everyone joining for Conqueror Chronicles. Very much appreciated. We'll hit you back up with episode 6 after this.